Good morning, guys. How's everybody? So, yesterday I finished recording some product videos, and today the plan is to move on to the next phase of retouching. But before I do that, I wanted to answer some of the questions that I received in the comments from you guys regarding the camera settings I'm using for creating these high end product videos, the software and apps I use for monitoring the live video feed, and thirdly, my entire video workflow for shooting these product commercials. Now, before we get into the details, let me tell you that primarily I am a still life photographer, which means that I specialize in creating still images and not videos. But of course, for the past couple of months, I've been moving into creating these short product videos because these days the briefs that we receive not only consist of creating still images but also some moving elements like like stop motions, short videos, animations, and things like that. So because of that, I've been creating these short product videos, but really high end videos, and I also understand that when you are coming from a still life photography background moving into video production, these two are completely different things. Creating a video and a photo has a completely different workflow. So there are certain things that still life photographers don't understand. But over the past couple of months, I have created a workflow that works very well for me for creating these short product videos. I'm very, very happy with this setup. And also, let me tell you that the kind of videos I create are those where basically, or most of the times, the camera stays still and stationary on a tripod, and whatever movement I'm creating, it happens on the set. So for instance, let's say I'm shooting some beverages or some beer photos, or I'm shooting some beer videos. So in those videos, let's say there's a movement where I'm showing a condensation droplet sliding along the surface of the bottle, or I'm pouring some liquids, or I'm shooting some cosmetics where there's movement in the liquid, or some textures and things like that. So all the movement is basically happening in the set, and the camera stays stationary. So for this kind of a setup, the workflow that I'm going to share works very, very well for me, and I'm very happy and satisfied. Right, so let's get started. Right, so first let's get to the camera settings, right? And this is one of the lighting setups from the videos that I shot, but right now just focus on the camera settings. Well, I'm using the Nikon Z9 here, and when I'm recording these product videos, there are two possible cases. First is where I want no to minimal post production, and the second case is where I'm deciding to do post production, right? So in the first case where I want no to minimal post production, this is the setting. So let's have a look at the camera. Let's go to the menu so I can show you the settings here. Now, of course, the orientation is vertical, but you can still make out the settings. The codec I'm using here is H.265 in 10-bit. The resolution is 4K and the FPS is set to 120. Now, why 120? Because this is the highest FPS Z9 allows. But if your camera has a higher FPS, do set it to that number, because in product videos we want to show those really crisp and nice details, right? And having a higher FPS will allow you to capture those details in camera, right? So this is case one. Case two is, and also one thing I forgot to mention, let's go back to the settings again. In this case, I'm using a flat picture profile, right? Because I want to do minimal to no post production, right? Now, when it comes to the second case where I've already decided to change the colors and contrast, etc., in post, in that case, I will change the settings to this right here. So let's go to the menu, and in the video file type, I will, instead of H.265, I will go to NRAW 12-bit in NLOG. Okay, so let me set it to that setting. And again, for the FPS, that will remain the same because I want to shoot the video in 4K in 120 FPS, right? So as you can see here, the frame rate remains the same, which is 4K 120. Now keep this in mind that when you change the video file type, you will not be allowed to select certain frame rates in your particular camera model. So make sure that when you choose these settings, you are still getting the 120 fps, because that is important if you want to capture those crisp and nice details in your product videos. Okay, so this was the video setting, and when it comes to shutter speed, aperture, and ISO, of course it depends on the kind of set you are creating and the kind of look that you want to create in the videos. Like in this case, of course my shutter speed is set to 1 by 250th of a second, because the FPS was 120, so the shutter speed has to be at least twice of your FPS. The aperture is set to 1.4 because I want a really nice shallow depth of field, and the ISO is set to 5000 here. This is very, this has everything to do with the kind of style that I'm creating these days. We'll get to this in some other videos, but I'm intentionally trying to get some noise in my videos, right? But that is, this part is for another video. Let's now move on to the next part, where I'll show you the software I'm using for getting the live video feed. And in fact, before that, let's quickly move on to the photo menu right here, so I can show you the difference between the two workflows when I'm shooting still photos and videos. So in this case, when I'm recording still photos, this is the setup that I have right here. Okay, so on the iMac, on this monitor, you are seeing Capture One, and on this external monitor, you are basically seeing the live view, right? So let's have a look at another software that I'm using. Along with Capture One, I'm using Nikon NX Tether software to have this beautiful live view on the external monitor, right? Because the live view that you get in Capture One is not as great and good as you get when you use the the Nikon NX Tether software for Nikon cameras, right? So I'm very happy with this software. One neat little trick in this software is that once this is open, let's go to the tools, and in the options, there's a tab by the name destination, where you can have it like it says software to view pictures after transfer. I have selected Capture One here, right? So what it does is that once I capture the photo using Nikon NX Tether software right here, the photo automatically opens up in Capture One, and at the same time I'm also getting a live view on the external monitor, which is really detailed and beautiful. Okay, so this is the setup for shooting photos. Now let's have a look at the video setup. So I'll switch it back to video mode, right? Now again, in video mode, the good thing about NX Tether is that it allows you to monitor your live video feed as well, right? So as you can see here, it shows switch to video part. It is showing the recording button. You can change some settings here, like it is showing the camera, it is showing the destination, whether you want to just record the video on the card, or you can change it to computer plus card. Okay, so in this case, the camera will record video both on the internal memory and also on the computer, right? Let me just quickly silence my phone here and put it on to the silent mode, right? Okay, so this is what I'm using for the video feed. This is one of the ways. Now the downside of using the NX Tether for video is that although you'll be able to monitor live video feed on the external monitor right here, but there's no option to play back the video. So once you have recorded a video, of course I want to play it back and see whether I've captured the details I wanted or not. But with the NX Tether software, this thing is not possible. You can monitor live video feed, but you cannot play back the video after recording it unless you transfer the video files, which of course I don't want in the middle of the shoot, right? So for that, the workaround that I figured out is that in this case, I'm using the same monitor, but this time I'm connecting the monitor using the HDMI cable, right? So I have this cable right here, which is this one right here. So I will just, instead of the USB cable, or alongside the USB cable, I can put in the HDMI. So let's do that right here. Okay, so I have connected the HDMI cable to the camera, and I'll do the same with the monitor. So the monitor was connected to the iMac first. I'll remove this cable and I'll put in this one right here, which comes right from the directly from the camera. Okay. Okay, it's okay. There it goes. Right. So now the view that you're getting on the external monitor is coming from the camera directly. Right. As you can see here, it is showing you the live view. Now in this case, I can also change the the display here. So whatever I'm seeing on the camera screen, it is the exact same copy that I'm seeing on the external monitor, right? So in this case, when I'm recording a video, I can see the live view and the live feed on the monitor, and also I can play back the videos after recording. So once I've recorded the video, I simply play back the video on the camera, and you can have a look on the bigger screen right here, right? So this is a wonderful way to monitor the live view and also play back the videos during the shoot without transferring the big video files to your computer, right? So this is pretty much how I'm handling my video workflow. I'm very happy with this, this entire setup right here. And as always, I mean, if you guys have any questions or any concerns, any doubts, feel free to ask me in the comments and I'll definitely get back to you. See you guys in the next one. Cheers.